Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Franz, and on this vlog we'll talk about the Filipino drinking culture and the history of beer in the Philippines. Drinking, or inuman as what the Filipino would call it, has always been a staple to every celebration. May it be a birthday party, a fiesta, or just a simple get-together. The Filipinos would always find a reason to gather around a small table, buy a case or a cases of beer, and just chat the night away. While drinking is a part of every country's culture, there is still something that sets them apart from one another. And here are some of the things that make drinking very unique in the Philippines. Yes, we Filipino drinks every kind of alcoholic drink that you are aware of. Name it: beer, brandy, gin, and so many others. However, Filipinos, especially those who live in the rural areas, also have their own special wines which they drink on special occasion. Let's mention first lambanog. It's made up of coconut and is famously made in Quezon province. While some may tag this as the poor man's drink because of its inexpensive production process, there are some companies who market it with different flavors like cherry, apple, mint to cater other people. Another is tuba. Just like the lambanog, it is also made from coconut sap. It has a bittersweet and stinging flavor. Some people would think that only the toughest man could drink it. Hence, it is said to be a hard drink. Another is basi. It is a type of wine made in Ilocos Norte. It is made from fermenting sugarcane juice and storing the production in an earthen jar. This wine takes 3 months to ferment and a year to age, producing a light brown drink and sweet and sour flavor. Now let's talk about the alcoholic beverages in the Philippines. Filipino customs in relation to alcohol. The use of alcohol in the early times is the same as today, regardless of the problems of drinking too much alcohol. Drinking alcoholic beverages became the center of every community's works. It is used part of the ceremony, a custom or a part of a ritual. For example, the Mass of the Roman Catholics, service of the Protestant, and different religious activities such as the religious ceremonies of Aetas and many more. It is also used in celebrating different occasions like baptism, matrimony, graduation, promotion at work, Thanksgiving, fiestas or festivals, and also in remembering departed ones. Now let's talk about the facts that you need to know about beer in the Philippines. Drinking beer is one of the most popular alcoholic beverages in the Philippines. It is a significant part of many Filipinos' lives. It can be a great remedy or temporary remedy to mend a broken heart, as you have a heart-to-heart talk with your close friends and relatives, or somewhat to ease your pain while drinking. Moreover, having a pint of this drink is a great way to start your weekend with your office mates as you guys mark the end of another productive week or work. Basically, drinking alcohol in the Philippines is a favorite tradition amongst the local. Occasions such as birthday, weddings, or festivals cannot simply pass by without the celebrants, along with their guests, drinking a mug of beer or two. But have you ever thought about where this beloved beverage originated? How it evolved through the years before it became one of the most famous alcoholic drinks in the world? For starters, inuman sessions are a common occurrence in the Philippines. There isn't a single moment where a group of friends gather around without tagay or inom. Beer is a common choice in the Philippines alcoholic setting. In fact, all forms of alcoholic, including beer, welcomes different drinking antics for different drinkers. For instance, beer and karaoke make a great match, as well as beer and jamming sessions, beer and sudden philosophical discussion, and many beer-oriented things. Either way, you can never go wrong with beer in the Philippines. All you need to do is handle every sip well. Let's take a look on the past. Just like its taste, beer has an extraordinary rich history worth knowing. Here's a quick timeline on how beer started and evolved through the years. 4000 BC, 4000 before Christ, the oldest beer advertisement was found printed on a clay tablet. 7000 before Christ, fermented alcoholic beverages were brewed by ancient Chinese in a small and individual scale. 500 after death, beer began to be brewed in monasteries as part of the monks' nutrition during the times of their abstinence. 1842, the first golden pilsner was created in Czech Republic. It was successfully created through the combination of paler malts and new technique. In 1850, the first bottle of beer was sold during this year. In the 19th century, sometimes in the 19th century, a shipwreck found near Finland was known to carry the oldest drinkable beer in the world. It was found to be very tasty, old, and has an acidic aftertaste. In 1935, the Kruger's Finest Ale was the first beer sold in a can. In 1950s, beer pong was invented at Dartmouth University, then a paddle-less version of beer pong develops over the next 30 years. In 1993, Molson Breweries of Canada introduced ice beer. In 1994, Jack Daniel's started brewing its craft beers in November 1994. However, customers did not receive it well, so they stopped making them eventually. 2007, the largest beer bong was built, which consists of funnel and 25 meters garden hoses. Now let's talk about the history of beer in the Philippines. Beer is by far the most popular alcoholic beverages in the Philippines. It seems that beer bonds all Filipinos coming from every walk of life, from tricycle drivers loafing around at the nearest neighborhood store to the yappies spending their working hours at a rich joint in the city. The Filipinos' love for beer is unquestionably deep-rooted. It's national pastime. It is as if the fruity beverages has been there for many centuries. But the fact is that the historic beer in the Philippines is pretty much very recent. The most popular beer producers in the Philippines are San Miguel Corporation and Asia Brewery. Between the two, San Miguel is the oldest and the most dominant, thanks to its iconic flagship brew, the San Miguel Pale Pilsen. In the early 1889, a well-known Spanish businessman named Enrique Maria Barreto de Icaza y Esteban applied for a royal grant from his native country to establish a brewery in the Philippines. When Icaza was finally awarded by the royal grant, he eventually opened the brewery named La Fábrica del Cerveza San Miguel on September 29, 1890, which also happened to be the feast day of Saint Michael. It became the first brewery in Southeast Asia using the most modern machines and equipment at that time. It was built near Malacanang Palace, the official residence of the President of the Philippines. The brewery was named after the district in Manila where Barreto used to live and work. The facility had two sections, the one section for the beer production and the other section for the ice production. Apart from the flagship San Miguel brew, the company also produces other various beers: Cerveza Negra, Double Buck, Extra Stout, Foreign Stout, Gold Ribbon, Imported Pilsner Type, and Super Buck. But all of their production, except for the San Miguel brews, was soon discontinued. In just a short period, and also due to improved brewing techniques, San Miguel won its first major award, the Philippines Regional Exposition, in 1895. In only 6 years into its operation, San Miguel was already outselling even the imported beer brands by 5 to 1. In the 1900s to present, the early success led to the expansion of the San Miguel and eventually it invites incorporators. Even the outbreak of the First World War did not stop San Miguel to successfully export its products to Shanghai, Guam, and Hong Kong. The brewery had been renamed as San Miguel Brewery. During the Second World War, the Philippines was invaded by the Japanese military forces. They also seized San Miguel Brewery and renamed it as Balintawak Brewery, where they used up raw materials for their supply of brew. After the country was liberated at the end of the war, a Spanish-Filipino industrial named Don Andres Soriano got the brewery back. However, he would rather give away all the leftover Balintawak brewery supply to the Filipinos and American troops rather than bottle and market it under the San Miguel label. The beer festivity lasted for 2 weeks before the brew was completely consumed. During the 1960s, San Miguel had some head-to-head competition from a short-lived beer brand, notably named as Halili Beer. It was manufactured at a plant called FF Halili Enterprises in a barangay of Balintawak in Quezon City, in Metro Manila. The company was owned by Fortunato Halili, a former governor of the province of Bulacan. Halili also had other business ventures, including Halili Transit. Rumor had it that Halili Beer became so successful that San Miguel attempted to buy it out. But for unknown reason, Halili Beer folded. Speculation brooded about that the company failed to take off further from the sons of the founder. It was Don Soriano who was responsible for expanding the original San Miguel Brewery, evolving it into San Miguel Corporation that is known today. In 1978, San Miguel introduced Grande. It is 1 liter bottle of beer. On January 27, 1982, Filipino-Chinese magnate Lu Xutang entered the brewery business and dared to go against San Miguel dominance by establishing Asia Brewery. With the inauguration of its plant in the city of Cabuyao in Laguna, Asia Brewery launched its first brand, Bierhausen Pale Pilsen, whose main claim was that it was natural beer because it reportedly used natural spring water. Beer and sports traditionally go well together, and with the growing popularity of basketball in the Philippines at that time, Bierhausen jumped the bandwagon by launching its own basketball team in the Philippine Basketball Association, the local equivalent of NBA. With the success of Bierhausen, San Miguel responded to the competition with 3 brews: Laser Light, Red Horse, Gold Eager. Laser Light beer was targeted specifically for the female market. Red Horse was the first extra strong beer and still exists today. Gold Eagle, a light-bodied, low-cost beer, was made for easy drinking. Its primary target market was the working man. Asia Brewery countered San Miguel's Red Horse with its own extra strong brew, Max Premium Beer. It also answered San Miguel's Gold Eagle beer with low-cost Manila beer. In 1987, Asia Brewery received license to brew the international brand Carlsberg and marketed a premium beer in the Philippines. It also became the licensed brewer of Budweiser in 1997, Lone Star in 1999, and Coors Original and Coors Light in 2007. As of today, Asia Brewery brews cold fortified and distributes Asahi Super Dry beers. It also produces non-alcoholic beverages apart from its plant in Cabuyao, Laguna. Asia Brewery also operates to another plant in El Salvador, Misamis Oriental in the Visayas region. San Miguel continues to be the most dominant beer brand in the Philippines. The craft beer in the Philippines. Yes, there are crafted beer or home crafted beers in the Philippines. Although not obviously as commercially dominant as the mainstream beer, craft beers are otherwise superior in taste and quality. The local craft beer industry is also booming in the Philippines. The past few years have seen the steady rise in the number of microbreweries, not only in Metro Manila but also in many parts of the Philippines. The wide range of fresh, naturally made handcrafted beers has won considerable favor, especially among the younger folks and those who have gotten tired of commercial beers. In Manila alone, you can find several craft breweries whose products will appeal to casual beer drinkers and passionate beer enthusiasts alike. There are various unique craft beer to be enjoyed, such as Honey Wet, Citrus Belgian Wet, American IPA, Coffee Stout, Pale Ale, and a lot others. On the city's outskirts and nearby provinces, one can enjoy Honey Stout and even vegan beers. On the cool mountains far away in the north, you can try craft beers made from local ingredients such as black rice, wild sunflower, honey, and orange zest. Some of the breweries apply traditional brewing technique while others utilize newer technology such as solar power to deliver unique tasting beers to the more discriminate beer drinkers. And that's our topic for this vlog, the Filipino drinking culture and the history of beer in the Philippines. I hope you enjoyed learning new things and discovering about the beer in the Philippines, ang mga palahubog o mga palainom. Thank you for joining me. Until next vlog, enjoy learning, everyone.
The real deal, so authentic. I got a seal of authenticity under my electricity.